Good morning, guys. Happy Monday. This is your virtual classroom lesson for April 6th, 2020. Today we're going to be talking about direct and indirect characterization. So please go ahead and open up the PowerPoint that I added to your module for today. I'm just going to click over there too so we're all looking at the same thing. Okay. So today, if you have your PowerPoint open, if not, please pause me and then open up your PowerPoint and get ready to go. Okay, so let's look at our very first slide, which is about just your definition of characterization. So it says that characterization is the process by which an author reveals the personality of the characters in a fictional story. And it goes on to say that there's two types of characterization, direct and indirect. Please click over to your next slide, which talks about direct characterization. This is when the author goes right out and tells you something about one of the characters in the book. Honestly, we don't see a ton of this in Hidden Talents. So our focus for today is going to be indirect characterization, but it's very important that you know what direct characterization is too, because you see that in all different kinds of literature and stories that you guys are going to read. So direct characterization is when the author just tells you something about the character in the book. And the example on your second slide says that the character might be tall, angry, smart, nice, impatient, nervous, witty, any of those things. All right, if you click to your third slide, which looks like this, it's an example of how you might see direct characterization in a story. So the example says that John was an intelligent and quick-witted student. So the author just comes right out and tells you exactly what John is like. Pretty straightforward, right? Okay, please click to your next slide, which is about indirect characterization. And the slide looks like this. You got the big magnifying glass. That's what you should be looking at. And it says that indirect characterization occurs when the writer indirectly reveals information about the characters. And he's showing you things about them. So that's what we're going to practice today. But first, let's head on over to our indirect example slide, which looks like this. You have a picture of a dress. And the quote says, Susan was not looking forward to wearing a frilly dress to the dance. It simply wasn't her. The author doesn't say anything about Susan, but he kind of hints at things that might be true about Susan's personality, okay? So the slide says that the author does not tell anything directly about Susan, but his words show that Susan might be a tomboy. So take a second and look back at the quote, which says Susan was not looking forward to wearing a frilly dress to the dance. It simply wasn't her. How does the author of that little quote right there show you that Susan might be a tomboy? He says that she didn't want to wear a frilly dress. It wasn't her, meaning that it wasn't her style. It wasn't something that she would normally wear, and it wasn't something that she's comfortable in. So we know that she is a little bit of a tomboy. Okay, moving on. Now we're going to get a little bit of practice. So go to your indirect activity slide. It looks like this, purple font. Okay, and think of a word to describe yourself. If you need suggestions, you can click all the way back to your direct characterization slide, and we've got all these adjectives right here. Tall, angry, nice, nervous, smart, impatient, witty. Any of those kinds of describing words about yourself, okay? So once you've got your describing word, I guess you're good to go. Okay, the next thing that you're gonna do is to write an example of you demonstrating that quality, so you showing that quality. For example, if you choose the word neat freak, which, let's be honest, I'm one of those, I said, you might write, every day I pick up, dust, and vacuum my room, which is totally true. Actually, I vacuum every day like a weirdo. Okay. So, you want to demonstrate something. So instead of saying, I am a neat freak, I'm telling you, I'm showing you that I'm a neat freak by saying, oh, well, I have to vacuum every day or I just go crazy. Okay? So think about how you might show your quality. Okay. And then our very last part is the sentence that you wrote as an example of indirect characterization. You don't tell us about the quality that you have, but you show us instead. So at this point, I'm going to ask you to click on over to our chat so that you can share what adjective you used to describe yourself and the way that you showed us instead of telling us. Okay? Bye. See you in the chat.